Hey everybody, the dream is real. So in this video, you are going to see, first of all, a deck tech that I did for you guys to celebrate the holidays. But second of all, you're going to see at the end, stay to the end, because you're going to see the back half of two amazing games. Now, to put this into context, I haven't been streaming because I've been super busy, but I was playing late night. I still been getting my daily, at least my one daily win. And so I've been late night, and one time I faced a 200 plus card deck. I think it was like 240 cards. I was like, you know what? I'm going to play my mill deck. Well, I was already playing my mill deck. I'm like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to see how far I can mill them and just see what happens. And the dream is real. It's like Pics didn't happen. So starts halfway through the match, but you can see that I actually end up milling 240 some odd cards from my opponent. Like the next day, like I think it was yesterday, the same thing happened, but with a 100 plus card deck. So you can see like this deck is actually the real deal. It's fun to watch. If you like mill, stick around to the end. Hey everybody, it is Tao at the Forge, and today I'm coming to you with a deck tech for the holidays. So if you haven't seen my last video, which is a daily deal alert, you should still get that alert, but I did mention that I've been super busy, like, non-stop running back and forth all day, for the holidays. But now because it's the holidays, I actually have some time to make some videos. So yeah, you're going to see some content. I thought I'd start it off right by doing a deck tech, and if you know me, you know which kind of deck tech it is. It is a mill deck tech. Now, a lot of people say that mill is not really a viable strategy. I think it really is. Maybe not like, top tier, mythic level competitive. A lot of those decks are just way too fast, or they're just like weird janky combo decks that we might not be able to deal with right away. But mill is actually a really fun deck to play. And one of the cool things about historic mill in arena is that you it kind of withstands the test of time. It doesn't really matter what other people are playing because you actually don't really care what other people are playing. You just want to mill them out as fast as possible, kind of like burn, right? So anyways, let's take a look. So we're going to go to my deck. Now, I've had a lot of variations of this, and this is the current one that I think has been working pretty good. Now, in the current meta, it's important to understand that we have a lot of things like elves and goblins, okay, and we also have a lot of graveyard recursion type stuff, like people trying to sneak stuff in, with like Eerie Ultimatum or those other ones, or like Sacrifice Reanimator type stuff. So there's a little bit of tech in here that helps us to deal with that. So, anyways, we're going to, of course, start off with 4 Rune Crabs. We got 2 Rune Crabs. Just can do so much work for you, right? And the other thing is that Rune Crab isn't really our win condition. Now, it is possible to do our win condition with Rune Crab, but it is actually, our secondary win condition. Rune Crab can often take a long time to win with, but the thing is, it kind of takes our opponent's focus off of what we're really doing and forces them to remove this. It's also a nice little body that you can block with for a while, while you're getting things set up. So pretty good. All right, we got 2 Blood Chief's Thirst, and that's dealing with just simple small creature removal, or it can also be used to remove a planeswalker. Right now, we have 3 of Grafdigger's Cage. Now, it's kind of a weird one to main deck, but there are so many decks out there with flashback, with things that pull stuff from the graveyard. I've never actually regretted having this. The only time I've regretted having it is like when I already have like 1 out and I draw like 1 or 2 more, but that doesn't happen nearly as much as you'd think. I put 3 in here only because I feel like when you need it, you really need it. Alright, but I think you might be able to go 2. If I was going to go 2, I'd just put another Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay, we have 4 Frantic Inventories. Now, Frantic Inventories are one of the best card draws that Blue has in Historic. It's 2 mana to draw a card, but then later on it gets better and better. And if our opponent is milling us, right, then we can actually just like get more value from this. The other thing is sometimes, I'm going to jump down here, we got Teferi's Tutelage, and this is actually our win condition. So when Teferi's Tutelage enters the battlefield, you draw a card, then you discard a card. But sometimes you don't really want to discard anything in your hand because it could all be good. It's okay to discard a Frantic Inventory, right? Because especially if it's your first one, because then later on, if you get another one, you're just going to get more value from having it in your graveyard anyways, right? Anyways, getting back to Teferi's Tutelage, whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards. So what we're going to really try and do is just draw as many cards as possible. Right, so that's where Frantic Inventory comes in handy. We also have Heartless Act, so just destroying 2 mana destroys whatever creatures with no counters. Okay, Drown in the Lock, also counterspell and destroy creatures. Right, and let's see, we also have Didn't Say Please. Okay, so Didn't Say Please is a pretty good mill card, especially because it helps us to mill, but also helps us to counter. I will admit that very often this is the card I discard, mainly because like sometimes we have to deal with threats that are already on the board and we can't deal with threats coming in. But I mean, if you can hold it up, then great, but sometimes it's better just to hold up like a Languish or a Ritual of Soot, and you can like 5-for-1 our opponents or whatever. Okay, Tashia's Hideous Laughter. This one I think you could have as a 4 of, but the problem is it's a sorcery speed, and so like when you cast this, you can't cast it like typically what I'd like to do is wait till my opponent's end step and then cast all our stuff and cast it on their turn. This is something I would hold on to until much later in the game. I feel like it's gonna give us much more value if, like, you know, we're doing it, you know, as a finisher, right? And so anyways, and the thing is, it also exiles cards. It doesn't put them in their graveyard, which doesn't enable Drown in the Lock, and it also doesn't enable Into the Story. So that's why there's only 2 of these in there. All right, so I talked about Teferi's Tutelage. We got 2 of Languish and 4 of Ritual of Soot. Now, these ones were hard includes. They were hard to include mainly because they're rares, you know, and I had to craft wild cards to get them. But I faced so many like low, like just swarm type things like Scoot Swarms. You know, there's a lot of Relentless Rats or whatever Rats decks. There's Elves, there's Goblins decks and stuff like that where they can just get a ton of creatures on it. Just sometimes you need to wipe the board. And these 2 are actually pretty sweet board wipes, right? So you could go 3 and 3 or whatever ratio of these you need. I found that 4 of Ritual Soot is pretty good because sometimes elves get to the point where Languish wouldn't actually matter, right? And sometimes you guys have things that are just too big that Ritual Soot doesn't matter, so maybe 3 and 3 would be okay, but this is actually a good mix up board wipes. We also have Into the Story is essentially a 4 mana draw 4 cards. Now I say 4 mana because it's actually 7 mana, but if your opponent has 7 or more cards in their graveyard, then it's 3 less to cast. And so we can hold this up. If our opponent doesn't do anything or we get the extra mana on their end step, then we can cast this and draw 4 cards, which helps us with our Teferi's Tutelage. This can be really, really brutal, right? Yeah, like later on you're gonna see some gameplay footage where I've got a number of Teferi's Tutelages out. Keep in mind, every time you draw a card, so if you draw 4 cards with this, then Teferi's Tutelage would trigger 4 times, which is going to make them mill 8 cards. If you've got 2 of these, it's going to make them mill 16 cards, right? Finally, we have kind of our oh shit card. Also a very, very strong finishing card for 7 mana as we have Peer into the Abyss. Right, so Peer into the Abyss is just draw half of your cards in your library. If you even have a single Teferi's Tutelage in, like, so let's say you got Teferi's Tutelage, you draw like, you know, 18 cards potentially, you know, or something like that. This means your opponent's going to mill 36 cards. That's pretty much the end of the game. All right, especially if you're that far. So very often if you can pull this off, then you're pretty much won. And this has actually been my finishing play many times. All right, the artwork is also very eerie as well. So these like fractal heads coming into each other. All right, anyways, land base. The land base I found is, I actually have experimented quite a bit with this. We got 7 islands, 6 swamps, 1 Mystic Sanctuary. The chance of this coming in untapped is very unlikely. We don't really like to have untapped lands or things that come in untapped, so that's why I didn't want more of these. And the other thing is it helps our opponent can see what we put on top of our library. But very often, like, you can put this down and then, you know, you have like some draw spell. You can put another Drown in the Lock from your graveyard back into the library, draw the card, and then you got your counter spell back up. All right, anyways, after that we got 4 Drowned Catacombs and 4 Watery Graves. These are not absolutely essential, but as with any dual lands, they help just to give you options, right? If you did not have these, I would just split these 4 more islands, 4 more swamps. I would probably avoid having I would probably avoid having tapped lands because you really don't want tapped lands if you can avoid it. All right, but anyways, that is the whole deck, and I've been fairly successful with it. Coming up, you're going to see pretty much a couple of the back half of a couple of matches. I wasn't expecting to stream these or whatever, but when I played them, I was like, this is too good, and no one's going to believe me. So stay tuned. In a second here, you're going to watch and get to see this deck in action. All right, everybody. So I barely had any time to play. This is the first match I played today. Decided to play my mill deck. And you know when they say pictures or it didn't happen? Well, look at this shit. So my opponent here has 179 cards in the graveyard, 46 still in their hand, right? Like, this is ridiculous. I decided to try and face this guy and see like how far I could get. And I feel like I'm doing okay. I might actually win this, so if he manages to put this back in there, I'll freak out. But hey, I have to record this just in case this actually worked, right? I was able to pull this off. So let's see, what do I keep? I need lands, Karja, Tasha's Mill. I do not need Languish. Okay, I got to get rid of 11 cards. So lands, I guess. I don't need another Grafdigger's Cage. Don't need a Ritual of Soot. Okay, Rune Crab I should keep. Still got to mill like 40 cards, but I feel like I'm doing okay. Okay, that island is nice. I could probably get rid of one Frantic Inventory. How many do I have? 8 selected. Another Frantic Inventory. Another Frantic Inventory. No, I should keep those. Blood Chief's Ascension, get rid of, and how many more? One more. Did I not choose that Ritual Sit? Oh, I got it. What do I get rid of? What do I get rid of? I guess an island? Okay, submit. Okay, opponent. Turn target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, another Mirari Conjecture? Sure. What are you going to return to your hand? Whirlwind of Denial. Okay, sure. Oh wow, okay. Ooh. He's gonna try and Whirlwind and Denial this. Oh no, he's not. Look at those cards, they're like going off this screen. It's freaking awesome. Oh, he can't Whirlwind Denial because he's already... Yeah, he's already, what's it called? He's tapped out. Alright, well let's go, we'll pay 2 life, I don't care. Okay, so we're gonna mill 9. Okay. Let's throw down another Teferi's Tutelage. Are you kidding me? Let's get rid of Didn't Say Please. Sure. Okay. Can we get rid of 24 cards this turn? Okay, that's another 8. Yeah, I totally think we can. Alright, yeah, so this is one where it's like Pics or it didn't happen. I actually managed to mill out someone who has like 250 card deck. Okay, so let's see. This is like 207 cards in the graveyard, 16, 3 in the hand, so that's what, like, so I can't even do that math right now. It's like what, 226, and then how many permanents does he have in the battlefield? Alright, yeah, I guess we'll just leave it at that. So he's got 223 cards, 226, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 230, yeah, 240 card deck about. Good game. Next. No attacks. End turn. Yes, the dream is real. Alright, well, yeah, I just won there. I guess I don't need to play mill ever again. I just like milled a 250 card deck. Okay. Well, yeah, anyways, I don't know when I'm going to even publish this because I'm so busy. Like I said, I only had time to play one game today, like just, maybe for 20 minutes. This is my only match. I got paired up with this. I was like, you know what? Just screw it. I'm going to try and see what happens. I got to get to bed. I'm super tired, but yeah, anyways, there's my victory. Milled out a 250 card deck. All right. Anyways, hope you enjoyed watching the tail end of that. Have a good night, guys. Talk to you later. Okay, so this is in the middle of another match here, and here I've got an opponent that has over 100 cards in their hand, so aren't in their deck. So it's 70 in the library, 40, 50 still in the graveyard. You know, number on the battlefield. So this is probably like a 140 card deck. Right, so we'll just see what we can do if we can actually end up beating this guy. Right, so enters tapped. Don't need the mana for that just yet. End turn. Now, my plan right now is to get another Teferi's Tutelage if I can, and then go into peer into the abyss. Right, but we'll have to see if I can find those cards. Because right now, with only one Teferi's Tutelage, if I draw half my library, that's going to be 19 cards. Right, so 19 cards is not, it's going to basically make a mill 38, which seems like a lot, but if they've got 67 left, like at this point, I'm just starting from where I was before. Okay, sure, I don't really care about that. Yeah, it can give some extra mana, but that's fine. You can make all them, he's already got so much mana, I don't even care anymore. Right, so, oh, this is good. I feel like I wait to cast this on my opponent's end step, though. So, we'll wait till our opponent's end step, then go from there. Sure, you can draw cards. We will throw away a Languish. Alright, so put a counter, draw 4 cards. 4 cards would be good, because that way I'm likely to pick up a Teferi's Tutelage, or at least something. Okay. Sure. Oh, they're trying to blow up my Grafdigger's Cage? Okay. So so they can go Faithless Looting again. Alright, that makes sense. Alright, so they can go loot. Looting is actually not good for them, though, right now, because it just actually makes, like, fewer cards. It just cycles more cards. Right? And I'm just holding up counters, so, yeah, you can go ahead if you want. Alright, so let's go draw some more cards. And it's likely that I'm going to pick up another, that I will pick up another Grafdigger's Cage and stop them. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like my opponent's in rough shape. Okay, Mizzix Mastery. Yeah, the deck just seems very weird. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll put out a Teferi's Tutelage, so we can start double milling them. I can't believe I didn't draw land in all of that. Okay, but I'm going to have to hold up Drown in the Lock. Oh, that's good. Pick up a land. Let's go drop this Ritualist, so that my opponent's not going to be dropping any creatures that are 3 or less. Alright, down to 48, 46. Yep, okay. Let's just see. I feel like I pay the 2 life for this. Yeah. That'll also freak my opponent out, because they'll be like, why did he pay 2 life? Like, they'll make them think that I actually have something up my sleeve here. Yeah, that's fine. You can draw 2 cards, it's okay. Just draw lots of cards. It's fine. Even if my opponent taps out, I can actually go up here into the Abyss, and I will draw, basically make a mill 60 cards. I could win just flat out right now, right, if my opponent taps out. Right, so let's drop a Languish and a... this can get rid of a Planeswalker, so let's go Heartless Act. Alright, so opponent, what do you got here? 43 cards in hand. You got a crap ton of mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still looking for stuff? Okay. They only have 1 red mana out. Right, that kind of sucks for their Faithless Looting. But I guess they could also flashback this Faithful Mending. Right, draw 2 more cards. Alright, so let's see what we got. Do they have anything? If they go to end step without casting anything, then I'm going to go into the story. Oh, okay. Well, into the story then. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Draw 2, end 2. Alright, opponent. They're going to have to mill 16 here. Or, oh, there's another Grafdigger's cage. Alright, so is this going to work? Am I going to mill it a 100+ card deck? Like last time I milled out a 250 card deck, or 240. Will I mill out like 150 card deck today? It'd be so sweet. Right, so opponent's going to lose a lot. And I've got Tasha's Hideous Laughter like coming up here. So that's going to be even worse for them. Alright. How many cards? 23? Can I do 23 in a turn? Probably could. Okay. Okay, so, I gotta... Okay, so I got one for a Rune Crab, then put another Swamp out. Then I can cast 3 for Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Right? And then I'll have 3 left to get 1 Frantic Inventory. Or is it better if I just go double Frantic Inventory? Yeah, I think this is better. Well, can I afford them both? Yeah, I think I can. So let's go Rune Crab. Okay, so then we'll go mill 3. Okay, that's 16. Then we'll go draw 3 cards. Can our opponent counter anything? Nope. So that's each one of these has mill 12. Okay, yeah, I think they're done. There's no way. I also have Counterspell up as well. Yep, opponent scoops! Yes! Oh man, this is the second time in the second time this week I've managed to mill out someone who's like had an enormous library. I was gonna say enormous deck, but I know what you were gonna say. Anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you. Once again, it's like Pics or it didn't happen, so there you go. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Get out there and mill some decks.